Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to NoDQ Live here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRiftNoDQ. We had the final edition of Raw until the Super Showdown pay-per-view extravaganza, whatever you want to call it, which will be taking place in Australia this coming Saturday, live on the WWE Network at 5 a.m. Eastern Time, 2 a.m. Pacific Time. I did mention this on NoDQ and on social media. I will say it again. Disclaimer, I will be doing live coverage of Super Showdown on NoDQ and social media. So if you are unable to watch Super Showdown live, do not go on NoDQ or NoDQ's social media. I would advise personally, and I'm not trying to tell any of you how to live your lives, my advice is stay off social media. If you do not want to be spoiled, if you don't have the ability or the interest in watching live, stay off social media, because if I'm not posting live results, somebody else most likely will. WWE will probably be posting live results. Just saying. Keep that in mind. Fair warning to everybody out there. Now, let's go ahead and talk about Monday Night Raw. The show kicked off with a Dean Ambrose in-ring interview. He was asked about the ending of Raw last week. DJ Whitey with a $5 Super Chat donation. Shawn Michaels is bald just like his buddy Triple H, WTF. And Darren Harris with a $2 Super Chat donation. Bellies of Destruction. Wow, people are already ragging on the main event segment. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I will talk about that at the end, but thank you guys for the Super Chat donations. Very much appreciated. We had Dean Ambrose. We have to talk about the rest of Raw. I really do want to talk about the main event segment, but we do have to review everything about Raw, so let's go ahead and discuss it. We had Dean Ambrose talking about what Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman said and admitted that they do have a point. Dean Ambrose was the WWE champion when he was on SmackDown. They have titles. He doesn't. Yada, yada, yada. Crowd was doing what chants, which was interesting, but I think that they were just having fun. Really interesting crowd tonight in Seattle, and I will get to that more later on in the review. I know for those of you that watched the show live, you know what I'm talking about, but we will get to that later on. Ambrose then said that despite the points that the Dogs of War made, the dog pack, Ambrose said the Shield, they're still brothers, they're still together, and they're going to fight together. And this led to Baron Corbin coming out, and he gave Ambrose 3 choices. He said Ambrose could fight Roman Reigns for the Universal title, he could fight Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental title, or he would have to face Braun Strowman. Ambrose chose to face Strowman because he's loyal to his Shield brothers. This led to Strowman versus Ambrose, which Strowman was about to win. We had Ambrose hit the Dirty Deeds, and he delayed a little bit in going for the pinfall. Strowman kicked out, and then Strowman hit the power slam, and then he hit a second one, and he was not done with Ambrose. He was gonna keep going, and Roman Reigns was not going to let this happen. He was not going to let Strowman beat up Dean Ambrose and win a match cleanly. So Roman Reigns came out, interfered. This led to everybody coming out, all hell breaking loose. And then Baron Corbin announced that there would be 2 more matches on the show. It would be Roman Reigns versus Dolph Ziggler. And by the way, nobody mentioned this, but I did not hear the record scratch this week. I'm not sure if it was a 1 week thing, but if Ziggler has a proper entrance and there's no record scratch, keep in mind somebody is getting a t-shirt. I have not forgotten about that. It might have just been a 1 week thing because Ziggler came out for a run-in on this show and his music played. And it would be really awkward if you heard the record scratch and he ran out after that. So it could have just been that. We'll have to wait and see what happens next week. If he doesn't have the record scratch anymore, somebody's getting a free NoDQ.com t-shirt. Go ahead and retweet that if you can find it. But yeah, so Corbin made 2 matches. He made Reigns versus Ziggler, and then later on the show, it would be Rollins versus McIntyre. One thing I did not like about this was the fact that you had so much of the show dedicated to one storyline. It felt like about a third of Raw this week was built around this Shield versus Dogs of War match at Super Showdown. Also, I prefer when these segments are split up. I'm not a fan of having the first 30 to 40 minutes just being revolved around a couple of guys and one storyline. It just feels like the show is being padded out. It drags on, in my opinion. I'm not a fan of it. The other thing I was really confused about with all this was that the referee was holding up the Universal title like it was going to be a title match, but then Corbin said, no, it is not going to be a title match. Roman Reigns will not be defending the title until the Saudi Arabia show coming up on November 2nd. Now, wait a minute here. Earlier on, Corbin was going to give Ambrose a Universal title match if he wanted one. So this made no sense whatsoever. Corbin is a heel general manager. Why is he doing a favor to Roman Reigns by not putting the title on the line? Isn't he screwing over Dolph Ziggler, who is supposed to be his ally? This hurt my brain. Wasn't a fan of this. But anyways, I will move on here. Bradley says, zero logic by creative as usual. Yeah. So we had Roman Reigns versus Dolph Ziggler. Crowd bought into the near falls. Again, I guess Seattle was just a good crowd and they were playing along. But man, if I was there, I would have never bought into any of Ziggler's near falls on Roman Reigns. I guess I'm just not playing along. Don't know what else to say about it, but I never bought into the idea that Ziggler could ever beat Roman Reigns, even in a non-title match. Especially when the previous match had a DQ, I was figuring, okay, there had to be a clean finish, so Ziggler is not getting out of this with a win. Based Ash Ketchum says, laughing my ass off, Aaron, stay hating. I'm not hating, I'm just saying what it is. Roman Reigns is the guy, but he was a very game Dolph Ziggler, as Kayfabe Candy Ass would put it. Roman Reigns did pick up the win with the spear. And by the way, what a sell job by Ziggler as usual. He sold the spear like a pro. Got to give him props for that. WWE immediately cut to this young female fan going crazy for Roman Reigns winning. And that's the way it is, folks. That's the way it is going to be for a long time. Maybe a decade, maybe longer. Who knows? Only time will tell. As a good friend of mine from another site says all the time. All right, moving on here. We had Ronda Rousey versus Ruby Riot. Tommy left a $2 super chat donation. Long time no tune in. Go Kyle. Happy Kyle Day. Of course, for those of you that don't really care, Tommy is the biggest Interstate Kyle fan there is. Maybe we'll get Kyle on a NoDQ review video coming up soon. I'll have to see what Kyle's schedule is like. He hasn't been on one in a while, so I'll see what I can do. And best wishes, of course, to Kyle, who has been dealing with some health issues. So yeah, moving on here. We had Rousey versus Ruby Riot. Liv Morgan was out there and she tweeted, see you Bella Twins and Rousey on Sunday. So looks like Liv is okay. She's cleared. She's good to go for Super Showdown. No replacement or anything. I thought this match was fine. I like the fact that Ruby is tanning. I think she looks better with the tan instead of being Sheamus 2.0. Although Sheamus doesn't have any tattoos. So I'm not sure if that's the proper comparison. But you guys get what I'm saying with the tanning. I mean, I think she looks better with the tan. Tommy with a $2 Super Chat donation. I would love to do a NoDQ review with Kyle. Well, you and Kyle could get on Skype and do a video. I mean, I would be happy to upload it for you guys, just saying. But yeah, I thought this was a fine match. Ronda Rousey, of course, picked up the win, though. And the one negative, I hate to be negative again, but where's the heat for the heels going into the pay-per-view? There was none. Why even book this match? You're protecting Ronda Rousey's champion. I get that. But still, I'm not sure I would have done it this way, you know. You got to get some heat on the heels. Riot Squad against Ronda Rousey and the Bella Twins. And who knows? Maybe the Riot Squad's going to win on Sunday. Or Saturday, excuse me. I'm used to Sunday. But I would be really surprised if that happened. I will, though, think about it. I'll give my final prediction on the NoDQ preview video for Super Showdown, which should be going up on Wednesday. Let's move on here. By the way, Ruby almost got the win with a roll-up. So, you know, it's funny. I just wanted to say, the roll-ups seem to be the best near falls at this point because they actually lead to finishes so often now. I think fans buy into the roll-up as a potential finish. So I think that's kind of interesting. I think it's being overdone, but at the same time, people do buy into the fruit roll-up as a possible finish. Kayfabe Candy Ass even said, my heart jumped. I thought that they were legitimately going to job out Rousey with a roll-up. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you end so many matches with a roll-up. And Based Ash Ketchum says the fruit roll-up is so trash. All right, let's move on here. We had Connor versus Bob Roode. That's right. Connor is not only getting an entrance with his partner in the Ascension, they are getting a full-fledged push. And guess what? Bob Roode did the job to Connor. Yes. Now, there was a little bit of a distraction. Victor attacked Chad Gable on the outside. But yeah, 2 weeks in a row, Connor has won singles matches on Raw. Poor Bobby Roode. I know I said last week that you're not buried if you're getting TV time, but Bob Roode's getting buried. I don't know what else to say. Poor guy could be such a big deal in WWE, but he's being wasted. And Ascension, I feel like they're beyond recovery. You can push these guys, but WWE is going to give up on these guys in a couple weeks. And it's really hard to take them seriously when they've lost so many matches over the past 2 years. 3 years, maybe. I mean, when did their push end? Like 2015? So really, it's been like 3 years. William Losh with a $2 Super Chat donation. Thank you for that, William. What is the most effective finish? The roll-up, the super kick, or the DDT? Well, back in the day, the DDT was a very effective finisher. When Jake Roberts would hit that move, nobody would kick out. And I have a hard time remembering people that did kick out of Jake the Snake Roberts' DDT. Maybe Greg Cherry knows the answer to that one, but back in my day, I sound like an old man again, finishers finished matches. Every once in a while, like at WrestleMania, Hulk Hogan would kick out of somebody's finisher. But that was pretty much it. And then, of course, WrestleMania 7, when Randy Savage hit 5 elbow drops and Ultimate Warrior still kicked out. But, of course, that was supposed to be Randy's last match and he was going to retire and all that stuff. So, whatever. Based Ash Ketchum with a $2 Super Chat donation. Thank you, Based Ash Ketchum. Ascension, a.k.a. Legion of Doom 2.0. I feel bad for Roode. Ascension was pretty much ruined when JBL or whoever it was pretty much laughed them off as a couple of LOD knockoffs. That's the last thing you want to be doing, is saying these guys are a cheap ripoff of a popular tag team. Don't bury the guys. You're pushing them. Don't say stuff like that. I think it was JBL, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. Maybe somebody in the chat room. Actually, RoboBuck says it was JBL, so there you go. They were pretty much dead on arrival as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, Bobby Roode, yeah, you could turn the guy heel, and he really should turn heel, but I'm not sure if it was Kayfabe Candy Ass or somebody else that stated a Roode heel turn could still work, but none of us were really expecting this Bobby Roode storyline with Chad Gable to result in the Ascension getting a renewed push at this point. It's frustrating. Even if Roode goes heel, I don't have the confidence in the writers that they're going to save this guy. That Roode's going to be able to be an effective heel. He's going to be like Mojo Rawley. And I'm not trying to insult Bobby Roode by comparing him to Mojo Rawley. Rawley's not that good. Roode has a lot more potential, but it's the writing that's really going to damage Bobby Roode in the long run. And I don't even know if a heel turn can save him. To TNA's credit, Bobby Roode in TNA, when did he ever job out to an opening match tag team act? You guys tell me. People that are TNA fans, trivia experts with TNA. I don't remember, and I criticize TNA a lot. I don't remember Bob Roode jobbing out to some opening match guy who hadn't won a match in 3 years. Just saying. Based Ash Ketchum with another $2 Super Chat donation. Thank you, sir. Bring back beer money. Only way Bobby Roode gets over. Well, I don't know about that. Again, it's going to be the writing and making Bobby Roode an interesting character and a credible character. Aaron Joel with a $5 Super Chat donation. JBL wasn't wrong. The HBK said you're supposed to remind people of a certain superstar. You need your own identity. That's true, but you don't say that on television. You don't acknowledge that they're knockoffs. You just don't do it. You don't damage your brand. That's something people in WCW would do. And Interstate Kyle with a $25 Super Chat donation. Thank you, Kyle. Very nice of you. So I guess Alexa Bliss waited in the blistering cold for 4 hours and Trish said no. That's pretty crummy, man. She's like her favorite idol. She wants to be just like you. Man, she likes her more than I do. Thank you for the well wishes, AR. Nice little reference to Stan there. I did get that reference. I'm not that out of the loop with popular music. I do like old school Eminem. After all, I have this hairstyle. Dead Troll with a $1 Super Chat donation. No comment. Thank you for that, though, Dead Troll. Where was I now? Oh, wait a minute. Nelson with a $5 Super Chat donation. Would a storyline with AJ Styles and Samoa Joe help Bobby Roode? I think that could help. Going to SmackDown could do him some good. But there are guys like Finn Balor that could go to SmackDown and get a nice change of environment. And the Usos going to Raw. I mean, yeah, changing a guy to another brand is a quick fix, but it's not addressing the entire issue. Tommy with a $2 Super Chat donation. Who won the 2004 Royal Rumble? That would be nobody. Big Show tripped over the top rope and nobody won that Royal Rumble. And at WrestleMania it was Triple H versus Shawn Michaels and nobody won. And then there was just a vacant title until Randy Orton found it in the ring at SummerSlam 2004. There you go. Rift Aronson is in the chat room, by the way. That cannot be Rift Aronson. Rift Aronson is dead. He was buried. I was at his service. Rift Aronson cannot come back to life. I don't care if it is the month of October. There's no such thing as ghosts. Rift Aronson is dead. That cannot be the real Rift Aronson in the chat room. Boston Punk with a $5 super chat donation. My witty-ass comments are lit, but you rich mofos keep overshadowing me with your super chats. Well, there you go. Boston Punk just had to make sure that he got his comment in there. Thank you for that, Boston Punk. Much appreciated. Next up, we had a moment of bliss, which is actually what Interstate Kyle was referring to. I really don't know what to say about it. I guess Trish was telling some story about getting an autograph. Alexa was talking about something with meeting Trish Stratus back in the day. I don't even know what it was about, really. I was tuning out. I wasn't really interested in it. I'm not a fan of those segments, to be perfectly honest. I know some of you like them, but how about the poll on NoDQ.com, most overrated female superstar in WWE history? Alexa's at like number 3 right now. I found that to be really interesting because people were praising her in 2017 and saying she was the best heel promo on Raw. Man, people have really turned against her, it seems. Ken terminated by Google with a $2 super chat donation. Nice swerve on the Rumble question, LOL. Well, thank you for that, Ken terminated by Google. Much appreciated. Chris May says she is a great heel, Alexa Bliss. And Ma Wrestling says Alexa is like Triple H from 2002 to 2005. Ouch! That might be the savage line of the night right there. Word Life says Alexa Bliss cannot take a bump, but she's great on the mic. Fernando says, do you miss California? This is a wrestling video. You can tweet me that, but I miss a little bit of it, but not a whole lot, to be perfectly honest. Power Packers 90 with a $2 super chat donation. Alexa complained about the $50 and Alexa charges $60. Well, there you go. But then again, she's a heel, so of course she's going to be a hypocrite about that stuff. But then again, $50 in 2000 currency, you know, with inflation and all that, could be more than 60. William Losh with a $2 super chat donation. It's obvious they're not just using their phone. And I think he's referencing the Mixed Match Challenge promos, I think. Thank you for that, though, Bill or William, whichever you prefer. All right, speaking of guys getting buried, let's talk about the B team. B team, B team. No, no, no. Versus the Revival. And guess what? The Revival did not even get an entrance. Poor guys. It's like they lose a lot and then they have a great match on Raw and people are like, man, Revival's on the verge of a big comeback here. And then this happens. They lose to the B team. I thought the B team was done. I thought that experiment was over. We weren't going to see them again. And I really don't have anything against Curtis Axel or Bo Dallas. I just don't like the act. I would rather have seen Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt form a tag team and have Bo go to the dark side and get rid of the goofball gimmick. But, you know, I'm just not a fan of the B team. The music sucks. The whole thing sucks. And yeah, Revival, they're just job guys now. They didn't even get an entrance. Authors of Pain attacked the B team, so I guess that's the next match now. Whatever. I mean, I feel like Revival, they should just go back to NXT or something. I mean, they're just being totally wasted here. There's really no turning back for these guys. They've been pretty much cursed since coming on the main roster. Both of them got injured, and they never really were able to gain any kind of momentum for a significant period of time. Very sad. Tic Tat Tat says kickoff Authors of Pain versus the B team. Very well could be the case for Super Showdown. We'll have to wait and see. I really hope there's not a kickoff. I just want it to start at 2 a.m. I really don't want to be up at 1 a.m. But I am going to be up for the Super Showdown. I will be doing the live coverage. Again, spoilers. So if you're not able to watch it live, stay off social media. We had a bunch of backstage segments with Roman Reigns talking to Dean Ambrose, asking Ambrose if he was okay. And Ambrose said, you know, if I wasn't such a nice guy, I'd be the Universal Champion right now. So WWE's trying to tease dissension, that Ambrose might turn on his Shield brothers. And I'm not buying it. Ambrose ain't turning. DJ Whitey with a $5 super chat donation. Give us your honest opinion, Aaron, on the prediction video. If you really think Ambrose is turning heel, WWE is effing with us, dude. I don't think he is. I really don't. I hate to be the bearer of bad news like Wade Barrett. Did I freeze? Can you guys see me or hear me? Because my picture is frozen on my camera. Let me know if you guys can see me, because my picture is completely frozen. Did I freeze, guys? Since I'm frozen anyways. I'm getting naked, everybody. What the hell? Why not?